You guys, today I'm really excited because I am building a LEGO MOC. I just got back from the LEGO store and I picked up 2 copies of the LEGO Friends Botanical Garden. This is set number 41757. Here it's got 1072 LEGO pieces and I believe came out in 2023, maybe this year, 2024. I can't remember, but it came out recently and I've been wanting to take this set and build a huge version of it. Obviously, you guys can see if you build just the copy in the set, it's got an open back and it doesn't look great for a LEGO city. But if you take one copy and a second copy, you can actually combine them to make one epic model. And that is exactly what I'm going to do today. So unfortunately, I did pay full price for both of these models here. That is okay though. I don't remember the last time I bought 2 LEGO sets at full price to make a MOC or anything like that with it. But it's an experience and I'm really excited about it. So like I said, 1072 LEGO pieces in each, and I absolutely cannot wait to get started. The first thing I need to do though is actually get the instruction manuals for it. Honestly, I probably could have just figured out how to build this model myself, but I really like Brixie's video and the instructions that he used from Rebrickable here that actually only requires 103 extra pieces plus the pieces from these 2 sets to build an absolutely epic model, as you guys can tell. So I probably will just buy the instructions here to save myself a little bit of time, but they look pretty good and it looks pretty fun to build. So I will buy these up here. Ugh, I didn't realize it would be 8 USD. That's annoying. That's fine. That's not going to deter me. I'm still buying these. All right, so my purchase of the instructions was successful. I'm very excited because I've actually never built a rebrickable model before. I made the video last year where I built my friend a rebrickable model, or I didn't even build it. I just got him the instructions and the parts and everything like that so he could build his own. So I've never personally built one. This will be my very first one, which will be exciting. So I will build the model off this laptop. That's where I will get the instructions. And of course, I will build it over here on the build table. I'll have to get my second phone out because I do want to film a speed build of this because I think it'll be really fun to watch. But I think the next steps, of course, would be to open up all of the boxes here. All right, let's get right to it here. I'm just going to open up the first one here. Get all the parts out. Out these parts go as well. So unless there's any stickers or anything like that in there, I don't think I will need these. Probably won't even need to open them. Got all the parts here. I also don't know if I'll need these base plates or not. Like, I'll know I need a 32 by 32 base plate for the actual model itself, but I will just set these off to the side and see whether or not I need them. I probably should do the smart thing and sort all the pieces quite nicely to make it easier for myself to build, but you know, I'm not gonna do that. I also know I require 103 extra pieces to do this model, so I should start going through my LEGO collection now and trying to find some of the 103 pieces I need. I didn't place an order for them on Bricklink just because I did take a look at them earlier today and was like, I don't think I really need to place an order to actually get these pieces. Probably I have most of them in my LEGO collection, and then any of the ones I don't have, I feel like I could easily find a substitution or a modification for it. Alright, so I've got my list here of all the extra parts that I need. Let's go do some LEGO shopping in my own LEGO collection. So it's not really shopping, it's just picking. Alright, now you guys, I'm super excited. I'm ready to start building. I've got the base plate I need right here, and let's go to town. So the first thing I'm going to do here is open up all the bags from both of these sets. I really wish I could just do, bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, and so on, one at a time. But that's obviously not the way that this build is going to work. So here I am, opening them all up. This entire process took literally 5 minutes and 1 second to do alone. So it is a big build. I am starting off with this absolutely massive pile of LEGO pieces here. It is very crazy, like so many things here. But it's just making me even more excited to start the actual build. So I actually got started by building up this model the exact way the instructions intended it to. So I obviously want to use a majority of the pieces that come in this set and limit the amount of extra pieces that are needed, and I totally understand that. But the first thing I noticed right at the very first few steps of this model was the fact that they actually used the 2 8x16 plates just to boost it up. They're building this whole thing in a mill style plate, so they wanted to use those plates just to boost it an extra ledge before they added these 16x16 base plates on top. As you guys already saw, I actually edited this model just a little bit. This is one of the only modifications I made to the original design, and instead of using those 2 8x16 plates, I actually removed them and just used a couple discolored 2x4 white bricks because this allowed me to use the pieces I had in my art collection that I wouldn't really use, and just allows me to save those 8x16 plates for another build. I would get more bang for my buck. Those plates are obviously more expensive than those 2x4 bricks, so it just made the most sense here. From then on, I just worked on continuing building the base of the actual model itself. So like I already mentioned, that it is Mills plate style, so it is raised a little bit, which is awesome because it actually allows us to build these ponds here underneath. It used a variety of building techniques, some of which I think are in the original sets. You guys can see that there's even fish hidden under the water there, which is really cool, as well as a couple of lily pads. It is pretty much the same on both sides, but it doesn't have you build both at the same time like you do one side, and then you switch to the other side, which is pretty cool. After building the water, of course, you guys saw I covered everything up with the plates and actually got started on the foundations itself. It would have been interesting to compare the original build to this build here, because sometimes it felt like there was no rhyme or reason in the order that I was actually doing the build, but it all made sense in the end. Progress update, I've been building for a few hours now, and the build is going really well. Obviously, I won't bore you too much with the details because I've been doing a voiceover throughout the actual build process itself, but I've been really enjoying my time building the model so far. I just got to page number 96 of 344, so it does go to show how much of the build is still left. Like, it's basically, I'm not even a third of the way through it yet, and I have been at it for probably over an hour and a half. The reason it's been taking so long is definitely just the sorting all of the pieces and not having them sorted. It's not like bag by bag, like a typical modular building would be. And the reason I'm doing a progress update right now is because, as you guys can see, here on page number 96, it does say use sticker number 5. So initially I did throw these off to the side, thinking I wouldn't really need them, but apparently I do. That is totally fine because I wasn't going to do anything with them anyway. Like, I just was going to put them in my inventory, or like my personal inventory. I wasn't even going to sell them, but we'll drop that out there so you guys can see these are the stickers that we do get. A bunch of different ones here, which all look really cool. And this is the instruction manual for the set. I have never built, I maybe kind of should have, maybe-ish, I don't know, built a copy of this set before I actually built the custom model, but I knew I wanted to rip it apart and build the custom model, so I figured I might as well save myself the time and just get right to work. But now that I have the stickers, I can go back to the actual build. So after using the first sticker there, I applied it and then continued the other builds for this model. We built a variety of different flowers in a bunch of different displays. Some of the displays are very similar and use flowers from the official sets, and others are a little bit different. Of course, then we actually started building the walls of the botanical garden, which was really fun. Again, a lot of these building techniques are what has been used in the official LEGO set, which is really cool. I think building the official LEGO set first would have given me a little bit more appreciation over what was part of the builder's own original design and that was actually part of the LEGO design as well. But regardless, they still use some really cool pieces, really cool building techniques, and I really like the style of this. It really reminds me of a botanical garden, and I know when I do mocks in the future, some of these building techniques I really want to implement to it. But it's definitely way better building this model here than I imagined building half a model would have been if I just had built the official set. It was really cool though, because as I was building, there were definitely times where I recognized things that LEGO probably included in the original model, but also recognized some techniques that I'm like, this seems like an illegal building technique. I don't think LEGO would have included here. I can't give any examples in particular, but sometimes pieces were just a little finicky. Sometimes it was harder to put together, but it still was relatively easy, although this is no longer, I would say, a kid-friendly building set like it once was. Obviously, the original box once said that this was a 12 plus building set, but I would now say it is definitely an 18 plus building set. One of the hardest parts of this build wasn't just the building techniques, it was actually trying to find the pieces. So I will reveal at the end of this video how long this build actually took me to do, but you guys will see a lot of majority of the time that I'm spending on this build isn't necessarily trying to actually put the pieces together, but it is trying to find the pieces. When you just have 2,000 pieces laid out on your table with no order or no sorting or anything like that done, you do end up spending a long time actually just looking for the pieces. That's why my head is in so many frames in this video compared to some of my other speed builds where you only see my hands. It's because I was constantly getting in there, getting in front of the camera and being like, where is this piece? Definitely by far the most challenging part of the build. In terms of the actual set itself, I think the pieces that are included here are really great parts. Like, I'm really impressed with all the different plant pieces, all the different animals and things like that as well. Just a lot of really fun building parts and techniques, a lot of newer parts I would say in this set that I haven't really seen. And considering it is a Friends set, I like how there's such a lack of purple and stuff like that in it as well. Some of the Friends buildings I find are really, really cool, but then when you have so much, neon colors and purples and pinks, it really screams like, hey, this is a Friends set. But this model doesn't scream that at all. It looks like something that could go in a city, no problem, even without the modifications made. Like, if somebody just built the model as it was put in the LEGO instruction manuals, I don't feel like they're going to see this set and be like, wow, this is such a girly set. This is such a Friend set. Like, this is a very, very nice set with good use of pieces. And I like that a majority is white. It looks very professional and very clean and very, very realistic. I think LEGO made a huge win for this one. Like, they made it a very reasonable price that so many people are probably buying 2 of them to make double models like I did. And because it looks so realistic and not like a girly set or a Friend set, people like myself who aren't into that theme will still buy it and still do the build for it and still put it in their LEGO city because it is realistic and it looks really good. That being said, it was really cool to follow these fan-made instructions and actually build the model here because it looks so much better than what the original set would have looked like had I not combined the 2 models together. So absolutely absolutely no regrets whatsoever. One of the other things that I mentioned in this video that I said I would be doing would be using alternate pieces. So I kind of talked about at the start about how some areas I used alternate pieces that I just thought I could use pieces from my own collection and save some of the pieces that came in the sets, like an example of the 8x16 base plate. Other times it said of the 103 extra pieces that I needed to add to this model, I just didn't quite have them in my LEGO collection, and most of them I was able to find substitutions for. For example, there was like some medium nougat bricks in 1x1 that I needed. However, I didn't have any 1x1s just loose in the collection, so instead I was able to use 3 1x1 plates and stack them together to make that 1x1 brick instead. I didn't have the 1x2 nougat Technic bricks, so I just used some 1x2 tan ones instead. And there was just a few other examples as well where it was really easy to alternate pieces. So the ones that I didn't have in my LEGO collection, I just kind of made mental note of it, and then when it came to those pieces in the building step, I looked at where they were needed and I looked ahead in the instruction manuals just to see if I was able to substitute it for another piece, and for the most part it was pretty good. I was able to do all the substitution. There was only one area in the entire build where I did not have the part I needed and was unable to substitute, and that was here. So of the 100 or extra so pieces that I needed to build this model, I was able to find most of them, or at least find substitutions for most of them. However, this piece right here, I'm missing 2 of. It's the only one that I don't have a piece of or a substitution for. So unfortunately, I won't be able to complete this part of the build. I don't even have it in my Bricklink store, so I will have to order 2 of them online. I will do that. It is absolutely no problem. But what I'll have to do is just leave it for now and hope that I can be able to complete at least the rest of the model, or at least similar, without these 2 pieces. Maybe I'll try and find some plates or something like that in the meantime, but it should be okay. And then once I get these 2 pieces in the mail, I can just go back and fix it. So as I mentioned, I'll just definitely order these pieces on Bricklink. It's only 2 pieces, not a big deal. I was able to continue building the dome without it. I will say the dome was definitely one of the more challenging parts of this model to build, just because you build it off to the side and then you actually add it to the top of the botanical garden after. I personally did find it a little difficult at some points trying to install and just like attach all the pieces to the dome, because it just kept breaking, because it uses a lot of illegal building techniques here. But regardless, it is still a beautiful model. Like I said throughout this whole video, I've really enjoyed this model. I think the building techniques are amazing, and I think it's, again, a combination of the building techniques that LEGO used in the official set, but also building techniques used by the mock builder who designed these instruction manuals. Overall, I will say the instructions were pretty easy to follow, makes a lot of sense, and the only regret that I have is maybe not sorting the pieces beforehand, because I think that could have saved me a little bit of time, but also just not building the actual model first, because as I said, I think it would have been really cool to be able to differentiate what was part of the builder's build and what was the original LEGO set, just to give me a little bit more appreciation from it. But it was really fun at building everything here and using all the different techniques for all the different flowers, and I just know that as I'm building this model, you know, maybe the original one would have taken me a third of the time that this one ended up taking. I just know that I'm getting way more from it, and it's going to look way better in the long run. You guys, I did it! The LEGO Botanical Garden is complete. I am so excited with how this looks. It looks absolutely amazing, and I will show you guys this in a little bit more detail, but as you guys can see, these are all the pieces that were left over from this build. Majority of them are just ones I didn't use. I also didn't build the last 2 builds there, which are these little picnic blankets, which explains why I have some leftover pieces there as well. These are some of the pieces that I also didn't use. Like I already talked about in this video, I just found some better pieces to use for the purposes of raising the platforms and save myself these 2 pieces out, because I figured they would be way more valuable in the future for another build or something like that I do. I just used a bunch of discolored 2x4s instead of all these plates to stack them together, which you guys saw in the first few minutes of the video. And of course, I did use both sticker sheets, with the exception of sticker number 11 here. I don't know if I just missed it or something like that, but I feel like I used that sticker piece somewhere else, or, oh, you know what? I think it's actually supposed to go on the book. Oh, that's so funny. It's hard in the instructions here, because as you guys can see, this is what it looks like when they're telling you to put stickers there. So I just missed this part where it says use sticker 11, but I did use sticker 6 where I was supposed to. But yeah, okay, so I did use all the stickers from both sheets, but yeah, guys, this build is really awesome. So from this entire build experience, I think there's just one part that I have yet to tell you, and that is how long this model actually took me to build. I know this exactly because I filmed the entire thing for my speed build channel, but this set right here took me 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 54 seconds to build. Honestly, considering there are only around like 2,000 pieces in this model, that is an incredibly long time. I know like a modular building that's like roughly 2,000 pieces also only takes me about 2-3 hours or so to build. The last LEGO modular I built was the LEGO Jazz Club, and that one only took me 3 hours and 48 minutes to build. And even the Titanic, which is one of the largest LEGO sets in the world, only took me 11 hours and 11 minutes to build. So even though this model is quite a bit smaller than both of those models, it just took a lot more time because the pieces weren't sorted. That adds a ton of time to your build if you're constantly looking for pieces on this table. Like, I was always searching. I didn't do any sorting. I divided the bags unevenly. Like, it was a mess. So if I was going to do something like this again, I might take a different approach to like dumping out the pieces and maybe even like subsort them or something like that first. But who knows how long that would have taken. You know, this model only did take me 5 hours to build. It was a lot of fun to do it. Do not get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. I've said nothing but in this video how much I really liked this model and how much fun it was to do. So I don't think I would change a thing. And I'm just happy that it turned out as great as it did. Like, it is so good. I can't stop looking at it. It's so good. And I think I want to try and import this into my LEGO city somehow. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure if I will. But that might be a future city video. So you guys will have to stay tuned. Anyway, thank you all for coming along with me, for watching me build and talk about building this model. It's been something I've been really wanting to do since this set came out in June 2023. I can't believe it's been almost a year since this was first released. I can't believe it took me so long to buy 2 copies. Like, I was trying to wait for it to go on sale, but I just never was able to find it. So I finally bit the bullet because I wanted to make this video. I wanted to build this model, and I'm very happy I did. I have absolutely no regrets. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all here in the next one.